All mankind descended from him, but they were represented in him. It talks about it later in the scriptures, in Romans chapter 5, verses 12 down to about 19, and maybe to the end of the chapter as well. But in Romans chapter 5, you have two public representatives. You have either Adam, and you have the second Adam, that is Christ. And either you are in Adam, under the condemnation of the broken covenant of works, or you're in Christ, and that covenant of works, the works of Christ, has kept the law perfectly, and what God sees in you because of Christ, because he represents you before the Father, is righteousness. So in Adam all die, but in Christ all shall be made alive. And they're the two possibilities. And since the fall of Adam, there's been condemnation upon all those who remain in Adam. There's no hope. Ever since the fall of Adam, there's no hope for keeping of the law. Because of our sinful nature, we not only break it in transgressing the law of God, willfully breaking the law of God, transgressing, going beyond where we're supposed to go, but there's also want of conformity or a lack of conformity. We fall short. We're supposed to do something, but we don't. Almost think of it like a bullseye. Unless you hit the bullseye perfectly, going beyond it or falling short of it isn't good enough. They're both bad. So in this case, the first was a transgression, of course, going beyond what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to stay within these boundaries, but there's also the want or the lack of conformity to the law of God. You're supposed to do certain things, and you don't. That's also sin. So, if you have certain duties, if you're a man, as a husband, as a father, it's not just enough that you haven't, maybe physically hurt your children or whatever else may be. In a positive sense, you are to instruct your children. You're to lead them in family worship. You're to do, you're to educate them. I'm not saying that everybody has to homeschool or anything like that, but that they come home from school. If they are in a school, whatever the case may be, you help them with the homework or whatever the case may be. You're involved. There is responsibilities, and you're to love your wife, take care of her, listen to her, encourage her, nourish her in the scriptures. So all of mankind fell in Adam, and they sinned in him. Because of the nature of representation involved here, we sinned in Adam, but we're accounted righteous in Christ. His righteousness becomes our righteousness. But in the same way, Adam's sin, if we haven't been born again and we're not in Christ, Adam's sin has become our sin by imputation. It is accounted. So in Adam, the sin of Adam is, even if you never sinned, Adam's sin brings the wrath of God upon him and his seed, his descendants.